Greetings, I am Galhard, warrior of the Grand Order, and we have finally won. But I'm going to tell this as it happened for the record, so after the last time that I had made a recording, we were falling back from the forces of the spider, which we had not determined the size of. We had gone all the way back to the entrance of where the dwarves had mined into the actual mine itself. There was a large ledge and a 20-foot drop that we could keep off whatever forces the spider had for a good time. So, we camped. We took watches. I and... was it the secret finder? We were on watch. And below, a lone, badly injured dwarf came to the drop and climbed up. We were expecting the enemy to send someone, and although we knew that Thurton, brother of Gundren, might still be alive, I was suspicious. So when he crested over, we confronted him. He said that he was Thurton, brother of Gundren, and as we were going to bring him to his brother, I administered the doppelganger test. A solid punch to the back of the head. I had ascertained that he was too badly injured to survive such a shot, so I aimed to knock out, punched him. I hit, and he turned and asked what I was about. I knew then that this was trickery. I called out, "Doppelganger," and moved to grapple. It became clear that he was not an injured dwarf quite quickly. In response, the doppelganger grabbed a potion and drank it and became invisible. I began trying to catch the invisible foe. That is difficult. I did not succeed. Luck was not with me. Timora shielded her face from me. However, he ended the invisibility on his own volition and offered to give us information because he was done with his time with the spider. He did not believe in what the spider was doing anymore and wished to leave unmolested, so he would give us the information that we would need to defeat the spider once and for all and accomplish his own ends. With friends like this, who needs enemies? I was ready to continue killing him. However, the group thought it would be better to allow him to leave and get what information we could. It turns out that the spider's forces were much smaller than we had thought. There was only 3 bugbears left in his retinue and a cadre of spiders. These spiders were under the control of the spider, and we would have to contend with them all. Also, they were at the chamber, and they were before the crucible of spells. So, they had not gotten in. We finished our rest, we regained our power, and we followed the doppelganger's advice on how to proceed, coming back around. Instead of the route that we had taken directly to the crucible, we went in a different way. Our purpose was twofold. Number one, we wanted to save Gundren's brother and find a item of power that they had located but not excavated. And two, we wanted to catch the spider from behind and unawares, if possible. We found the brother. He was relatively unguarded. Again, proof that the spider did not have the resources to pose a credible threat. But they didn't slit his throat, at least. I have to at least give them that much credit. They thought that he had more information that they might glean, but he did not. So we saved him and reunited the brothers. Secondly, we found the crevasse that the doppelganger had told us of. It took a bit of digging, but we eventually uncovered a fallen dwarf. More to the point, we found a pair of gauntlets that he was wearing. Apparently they are called Gauntlets of Ogre Power, and they are part of a match set with the dragon hammer that Glint keeps going on about. So he was happy to have them, even though he himself would gain but little benefit from the magic of the gauntlets. I believe... Kytheon has them, I believe. That has instantly made him the strongest person in the group. Contrast that to the fact that he wasn't particularly effective in any time I saw him swing his mace, and perhaps that will change now. I don't know. But we recovered that, and then proceeded to track down the spider and his forces. Found a gelatinous cube in the tunnels. That was an interesting encounter. It was quite fearsome, actually, for some of the others. Trudovic ran from it as soon as he encountered it face first, but so unpleasant was it that it unnerved him. The rest of us attacked, but the thing is insensible, just hungry. It engulfed 3 of our number at one point before they were able to drag themselves out. Glint, Lydia, and it attacked Trudovic. Oh, and Kytheon as well, before they managed to pull themselves free, or in Lydia's case, when the creature was slain around her. Quite a nasty opponent, honestly. However, we carved it to pieces. It was going to try to engulf me, but it died too fast. Our combination of abilities with Art blasting it, the others attacking as well, and I hit it with something. I was throwing axes into it. It was a pleasant enough diversion, but it only weakened us a bit, and we learned a few things from fighting it. Then we found a room with a pool, which we found a wand in the pool. I grabbed it for the group. It is a wand of magic missiles, interestingly enough. That's right. Thartan was found in the temple of Dumathoen, who is a dwarven god of secrets. Much secret things have happened in this place. We found the gauntlets, yes. We also found a suit of mithril half-plate. I suppose that's pretty good. And, then we snuck up on the spider. He had a bugbear as a sentry, which is foolish because bugbears are probably the least observant creatures there are. We proceeded to take him. Myself, of course, the secret finder, and for some reason Glint insisted on coming. Despite the fact that his combat skills are suited for throwing things, he wanted to be up close. How it did not hear him clanking along, I don't know, but the bugbear was oblivious. We ended him with a quick neck snap. A more merciful death than it deserved. Wasn't even worth noting, really. The next room on was the spider and 2 bugbears. We thought that we would take them by surprise, and we feared that the spider was a spellcaster. If I can get my hands on that drow, he doesn't cast anything. But we got very clever with things. Somebody cast a silence spell on a pebble or something I was carrying with me so as to silence and ensure that the spider couldn't cast anything. Well, it really wasn't my day. I am ashamed, but I made enough noise that in my haste... Well, no, it wasn't that I made enough noise. It's that even with the dark garb I was wearing, they saw me come out as well, to them, probably a giant specter out of the shadows, and the spider, for what he is quick. He cast a darkness spell that basically botched all of our plans for what we would do. The rest of the group came out, but aside from Glint flinging some hammers into the darkness, which didn't seem to hit anything, and the others just standing around figuring out how they would do anything, I charged into the darkness. I was enraged. I was determined to bring an end to all of this. I first moved up to where the bugbears had been, great sword in hand. I just found it there. I hadn't really thought about what weapon I would use, but I threw everything I had into it and felled the bugbears in a single swing on each of them. They died at my feet. But I was in darkness. I could not find the spider. And then I found the spiders. His nasty little companions dropped from the ceiling, the others told me, and into the darkness. The darkness did not bother them, and they took advantage of the fact that I was attacking without heed for my own defense. I could not feel their bites. I could, to some extent, feel the poison going through me a bit, but the bites themselves didn't register. It was looking rather grim, however, I will admit. While attacking recklessly in the darkness, big sweeps, I was able to hit my opponents and finish off the bugbears, but being surrounded by spiders might have been a bit precarious, especially since the others couldn't see me through the darkness. Well, then the spider helped me out. He threw a fireball back at the group. Apparently we're taking on a more powerful spellcaster than we might have thought initially. The folk in my group got hit. I did not. He missed me. But he got his own spiders. Finished them all off for me. Sometimes our enemies are rather foolish. So, without the spiders to worry about anymore, I moved forward out of the darkness to find that the spider himself had retreated out of his own darkness so that he could concentrate on casting and defend himself. Up to this point, I believe I heard Glint moving. I think he might have gone in through the darkness, but the rest of them, no. Once I broke out and I saw that he was there, I moved forward. And not to draw too much glory to it, but I ended the spider with 2 swings. Nearly cut him in half with my first stroke and then took his head. It was something of an anticlimax, I will admit. Although he didn't fireball me, so I didn't feel a great deal of rage there. It was the combination of all of the encounters that we had that had this one's fingerprints all over it. That is over. He is dead. I can vouch for it. I could even find his head. It's over there somewhere. But he had been talking into a mirror, contacting someone. The mirror was laying on the ground. Too full of the thrill of victory, I put my hand up into the head, took the mirror, and said something to the effect of, "This drow is no longer available for conversation." I was congratulated by whoever was speaking through the mirror. Putting the head down, I looked, and I saw a foppishly dressed drow in a feathered hat. Apparently a figure of some notoriety named Jarlaxle. He thanked me for ending the spider, as he disapproved of what the spider had been trying to do, and promised that he would be in touch when the dwarves got the crucible of spells in the mines running again, as a possible patron. Since he, at least at some extent, had been behind the chaos running through the countryside, and the positioning of the spider to do what he had done, I do not trust this Jarlaxle any farther than a tenth of how far I could throw him. I think I could get some good distance. Those ears look like they'd be aerodynamic. So, now we know that this Jarlaxle is at least partially behind the issues throughout the Sword Coast that we're in. And I have been told that he is in power in Luskan. We know we have to keep our eye in that direction. But before us is the Crucible of Spells. I can already feel the excitement of Gundren and the others. We will tackle the Guardian and unlock it for our benefit, for that of the Order and our employer. I have misgivings about what a sudden rush of magical items throughout these lands could bring, but at least it won't be boring. And then, who knows? We've taken care of most of the tasks set before us. I would like to put an end to that dragon we tackled with, but we'll decide that as we go. I'm certain that the Grand Order has plenty more in store for us. So, from here in the Mines of Phandelver, I am Galhard, and I hope that Tamora watches over you as well. Farewell.